points here, so we just go a little bit wider on it, so when we back up we've got a nice straight line onto this. So what's going to happen here now, and this is where the cameras really come into their own, is because I'm unable to see anything below the vehicle once I start climbing up. Anybody good at angles and dangles? Do you know what?
45, isn't it?
You're at 45?
Mm-hmm.
It's not 45, but it'll feel like it. So it's about a 32 going up here. So if I put the cameras on, once I know I'm happily lined up, I can just put this on, and we can now see that we're going up to about 32 degrees there.
That sun is blinding.
And as I climb up, put the cameras back on, so now I can see over the brow of the hill, and I've still got a good idea of what's over the top. I can just be on the brake there and let the car come up and over the top. Come up there now. I come off the brake, let the car just do the braking for me. So we've got a hill descent control on here where the car can cleverly do the braking for me. Come down here. So, the sun is blinding, isn't it? I'm not displeased that it's there, but we want to be ending the day and pouring down rain, would we?
No.
But now what I'm going to do, I'm going to choose a terrain response, and I'm going to tell the car what we're doing. So we're in our rock crawl here. What rock crawl will do, a preload differential. So electronically the car is assuming now there's something quite interesting going to happen. You feel that juddering?
Yeah.
That's now the ABS module just dabbing gentle braking onto wheels that become either very light or have actually left the ground.
Right, I see.
So as I move forward, this right hand front wheel is going to be about a metre off the ground. So we've got masses of amount of travel on the air suspension, and when I just stop it on the brake there, it just drops that wheel back in the ground.
I see.
So it's that degree of control I've got. Because we're in low range, it gives me that degree of control. So I'm able to control the output from the engine out to the wheels in a more subtle way, really, through the acceleration. So what we got is fly-by-wire technology on here. So gone are the days of the cables and linkages and all that. It's all computer information being fed back in. So electronically, the car can free off those diffs, whereas the previous Defender, if I didn't unlock the centre differential, we'd have bounced around the corner there, or I may not even have been able to steer the wheel because there's so much grip under the wheels that the wheels wouldn't want to go a different speed either side of the vehicle. So electronically, the car looks after itself, and as I just tiptoe up and over here now, just feather it on the brake, and you feel the car just drops nicely there, and away we go. So it's all clever, isn't it? If I now go into my auto terrain response, that means the car can quite cleverly and happily decide for me what terrain response it wants. So we've got grass, gravel, snow, we've got mud and ruts, we've got rock crawl, we've got eco mode, we've got all these other settings on there that we can use. So this one here, once Dan's put the ramp down, we're going to climb up. We climb up 20-degree nose up attitude. We sit at the top. Dan puts the red light on at the top there, showing off now, to indicate to us that we've gone far enough forward. And if we go too far forward, obviously we'll drop the front wheels off the edge and be over the cliff.
Yeah.
It has happened in the past, but not on this event at the moment. So what low range gives me is, as I said, a tremendous amount of torque going out to the wheels with an engine that's able to rev very, very low. So
really?
about 1,000 RPM. So like going uphill on a push bike, all we've done is change the gearing in the gearbox to use our engine in a more reserved way and produce more power. And I climb up there now, the degree of control I've got, I can crawl up there now, just looking for the red light to come on. There it goes, hold it on the brake. Pop this on now, you can see that the car's going to go from a nose up attitude right the way over to 27 degrees, pointing nose down. When we then release the brake and start to descend, we're going to go up to about 38 degrees. But it's everything we're doing with people when they buy these. We spend a morning or an afternoon with them on a half-day adventure, and then we take them onto tracks and just teach them what the buttons are doing. We get them to play with different terrain responses. Try and think out the box a little bit occasionally. We want people going away and staying safe with their vehicle and not assuming they can go anywhere and do anything with it. So as we come down there now, we come off the brake. You'll see on here now we're over to 33, 34, 36. So come off the brake now, it'll just start. That's the car now braking. Come down there. Clever, isn't it?
Yeah.
So in auto now, you'll see, once the car's happy that the wheels are staying level, it'll start to free off the differentials.
Yeah,
There it goes. It's even now moved me up into another gear now, so the gearbox is happy that the car is kind of staying fairly level. But what I'm going to do here now, once those have gone completely green, I'm going to put the car, once this other car's moved off, I'm going to lift the car up with this left-hand front wheel, and we're going to produce what we call cross-axling. So these two wheels are going to be on the ground, these two are going to come off the ground. So the old Defender would cope with this, but the whole body would twist as soon as we lifted the car up like that. This car is so strong, this is a monocoque construction, we actually don't get any body twist whatsoever, and we can still open the doors even, you know, at odd angles like that, because it's such a strong car. And it's that makes it feel safe, because it's not creaking and groaning every time we're doing something a little bit unusual with it. It seems unkind really doing this with a car that's only got like, you know, just under 3,000 miles on the clock.
Yes.
It's designed to do it day in, day out, you know. The majority of people who buy these would never ever even put it on a curbstone, you know, for fear of it rolling over or something. You don't even want to get them dirty sometimes. So if I use the camera there now, and we've got the graphics here, so you see as I lift that wheel up, what happens here is the car will start to preload the disc, but we're starting to get wheel spin identified by the system.
Right.
And this is where traction control now has to come in and start applying a little bit of brake into the wheels that are coming off the ground to create more resistance at the wheels that are spinning. So the wheels still on the ground are the ones that start to turn and move us forward. Clever, isn't it?
Very clever. Yeah.
The traction control has always done that, but of course years ago with rally driving, cars were coming around the bend so fast that the inside wheel on the turn was lifting off the ground. It's spinning incredibly fast because of the speeds they're doing, and then that wheel comes thumping back to the ground and it stops dead. And then you've got kinetic energy that goes back and it was snapping half shafts and you know, doing all sorts of mechanical damage to the car. So traction control was developed to minimise that happening, and every modern day car has traction control on it, and it has to have by law nowadays. Which is why the old Defender had to finish production. It was always fighting legislation. And these cars now, this is the £90,000 car, plus previous Defender, you know, the top of the range Defender was only 38,000, which is still a lot of money to some people. But they're worth a lot more money now because people wisely bought them before they went out of production. Some people put them in storage with no intention to use them, just to be able to make a lot of money on them. And we certainly did. But it's clever technology. So the other terrain response, so we've even got the weight program here. So if I go into weight program and go back into this, I've actually got the ability to measure water. So we're 0.9 metres. If you're into old money, we're 2'11".
Really?
So with the car in the off-road height, it's very deep. That's probably up to my chest. But if I drop the car down now into normal road height, I'd lose 8 centimetres of my ground clearance or my wading ability. So if I approached a flooded road and I just tell the car I'm going into water, the car will lift itself up and maximise, you know, my wading depth by me telling it I'm going into water. If I don't say anything to the car, it's then potentially going to drown itself if the water's a lot deeper than I expected. So I'll put the camera back on and go back into our auto terrain response. I'll just so I use these cameras again, so I'll go into my on-roads and I get this back wheel here kind of nice and close to the top of this without getting, you know, dropping the wheel over the top, and that will give me a nice turning circle then to be able to come round and avoid the barrier just the other side. Come round there now, nice and slow and steady. So again, we are only about 22. It feels a lot more than that. It feels a lot more than that, doesn't it? Surf stuff. So they're going to just come out here. I think we're dropping this car out at the moment because it's a tiny bit low on fuel.
Okay.
We've got one to run now. I think we're in about 35 minutes now. You into the footy tonight? Are you watching it? Are you getting back for it or not bothered?